We're going to talk about the Human Genome Project and some of the other businesses that you've pioneered in a moment, but still staying with your adventures, back to the first question, which is what motivates you to do this? And before we get into that even, you said that as you've been getting on in years, this is what's been interesting you to do. Give me a time frame. How old were you when you started doing these?
Well, when I was in my 50s and 60s, I was very much involved in scientific discovery, which gave me a great thrill, and particularly coming up with new drugs that help people, babies in particular that were mentally retarded, etc. But as I got older, I had less opportunity to do that and was looking for other things that would fill in the excitement void, if you will. And consequently, adventuring started to seem like something that was worthwhile doing. The first one really was Kilimanjaro. I was only 52 then, but if you told me that I was going to train for 6 months before taking a 20,000-foot climb, I'd say you were crazy, but in fact, I did that. And subsequently, decided that adventure really provided adrenaline for me that was something to look forward to. So when no longer I was in a position to make scientific discoveries, or at least finance them, having the chance to do these adventures became more and more opportune. And so skydiving, flying fast planes, jumping out of planes, skydiving, hang gliding, etc., has all become something that's very much excited me.
Do you do one a year, more than one a year sometimes? Depends on the year, I would imagine, but...
well, it depends what's going on. I mean, these adventures aren't run all the time, and so if someone hears that this idiot Walton has jumped out of a plane at 30,000 feet, and this actually is true. When they heard that I jumped out of a plane at 30,000 feet, they said, how would you like to jump over Mount Everest, which is about the same height?
What are some of the projects that you funded that you're particularly proud of?
Well, I mentioned a couple of the big ones at the genome and the baby formula, but one that really amazes me.
So those were with Oxford. I guess I didn't realize that until this moment.
Yes, my group financed those.
Right, those are big.
But one that really amazes me at the moment is that we had, at Brown University, a professor who found that if you had a monkey that had a joystick and tried to follow a green dot on a screen with a red dot, when the two coincided, you gave it a reward. And its brain was connected through a computer with a little chip of about a centimeter square. After this had been going on for some time, they disconnected. They wrote the program that was coming from the monkey's brain through the computer, and they disconnected the joystick so that the monkey would think it wanted to move the dot without having any mechanical contact. And it does it.
Amazing.
This has now been tried on humans, and humans can move cursors on computers
right. So
just by
this is
thinking.
Part of what's happening with paraplegics,
yeah.
etc. And the research that you funded is behind that.
That's
well, you really exemplify the tagline of the show about attitude counting more than the number of candles on your cake. And I thank you so much for coming today, and again, taking time out of your very busy and important schedule. You do a lot of really wonderful things.
Thank you, Prill.
Thank you, too.